and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Hot Tag. I'm John the Madness Thompson, and as always, here's my tag team partner.
And I am Jake Ward, and we have a question for everybody out there. You've clicked on it, you've understood it. You know, you got a couple of happy guys that will try and find the best out of everything. And we're going to try and do that right here. And the question is, was WrestleMania 9 that bad? Was it really that bad? We all know what happens throughout the whole card, and especially at the finish with my man Hogan. But
What a glorious moment.
That was, as you can see in the background there, he's just holding the Winged Eagle belt. But I've got to ask you, Madness, was WrestleMania 9 that bad?
You know, it's hard to tell sometimes if some things were that bad, or if in hindsight we look at it and we're just like, oh boy, old Hulkster up to his old tricks. Now, and I'm not saying I don't disagree with that, but here's what I do know. Caesar's Palace, I think, was cool in some ways, because that's where it was held, Caesar's Palace. And it was cool in some ways, and it was definitely not cool in other ways. It was cool because there was a theme, right? It was all about the Romans and the royal guards. The bad part of that was that they were everywhere. They were guards that were bringing in The Undertaker. They don't have anything to do with The Undertaker. Why are they bringing The Undertaker in? You know, but then on the other side, you get Bobby Heenan backwards on a camel. That was pretty good. I like that. The other big negative is that it was just daytime the whole time. It was just light out, you know?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? One of my personal favorite moment from WrestleMania 9 was Undertaker's entrance. You got this green smoke. He comes out in the chariot. He's got the vulture above him. Imagine if it was dark, and imagine if there was actual lighting on him. That would go up by 110%. So maybe that's a good place to start. Did you like it being in Caesar's Palace?
I didn't mind it. It was different. I didn't understand it when I was like 10 years old, or however old I was watching it. So it was, the backdrop, it does look good.
Yeah.
It does look good. The card itself, not so good. Not so good at all.
Not so much, but some very funny moments, like a couple good, like the Bobby Heenan. I would say that's a classic Mania moment. Like, how many times have we seen that in retrospect?
Oh, never. Really? It was, But Bobby Heenan was one of a kind and did everything he could to save the show. Let's just go to everyone's favorite talking point, and that is the finish of WrestleMania 9. I'll tell you what, as a young fella, as you can see, I loved it. I couldn't stand Yokozuna being heavyweight champion, and then the Hulkster comes in. I think over time, and people understand Hulk Hogan's behavior, puts an extra twist on why everyone hates the finish. But there, in the moment, no one was thinking creative control. No one was thinking Hogan must pose. It was just like, oh, the Hulkster, no way. Oh, Yoko, you idiot. Why have you challenged him after you've just had a fight with Bret Hart? But but when you go back and watch and rewatch it again, it doesn't look good.
It really doesn't. And I'm not sure, what they were truly trying to achieve, other than getting another cheap pop and some extra money infusion from the Hulk Hogan name. I think the big problem here was that everyone's love of Hulkamania was kind of on the downhill slide now. I mean, when you think about it, this took place in 92-ish, probably somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And that's a hell of a long time from, a full 5 years from when he slammed Andre.
Yeah.
So, and 5 years now is a lifetime in pro wrestling. And Hogan was pretty much at the top for that whole period of time. So I think there was a combination of, it was going downhill. People were getting tired of that. As a kid, I wasn't tired of it at all, because I wasn't old enough to really be like, oh, Hogan's been around for a while. It's just like, yes, more Hogan. I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
But to add insult to injury was just the way it happened. And I think really we have to talk about how, people say Bret screwed Bret, but Bret didn't screw Bret at WrestleMania 9. Bret got screwed real hard at WrestleMania 9.
He loses to salt in the eyes. I don't know about you, but I've had a bit of salt in the eyes, and it's not paralyzing where I get tucked away for the 1, 2, 3. But yeah, the finish was terrible. The whole, I can only imagine how upset Bret Hart was going, oh, go Hogan. Yeah, you deserve this. Yeah, go fight him. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Idiot. But just things. That was probably the culmination. I think if bad things didn't happen throughout the show,
yes,
then this wouldn't have been so bad. And you have the opening match, Shawn Michaels versus Tatanka. Yeah, not too bad. Nice little thing. Keep the streak going. Can outwin. Then Head Shrinkers versus Steiner Brothers was just 4 people beating each other up. I thoroughly enjoyed that match. It's probably the best match of the show.
Yeah.
For me, it starts to go downhill when you look at WrestleMania Classics madness. Razor Ramon.
Oh, starting good.
Versus Bob Backlund.
Back end, not so good.
In a 2-minute squash that really has just made zero sense. It was kind of like they were walking past and like, oh, we've got about 5 minutes to fill. And they were both just sitting there playing cards. It's like,
get to it, boys. Yeah.
Go have a match. I thought that was rubbish. Speaking of shenanigans, you get one of the greatest WrestleMania finishes of all time. It is one of my favorites. And when you go like this, and you go like this, you turn. And I'm talking about the 2 doinks. Absolutely loved
Doink
the
magic.
2 doinks. What did you think of the 2 doinks?
Look, I loved what Doink was doing at this point in time, and to just have that kind of tongue-in-cheek thing where Doink could get away with a lot of that weird stuff, and it made sense because he was Doink. And I can't quite remember, was Doink still like officially heel at this point, or was
he was evil Doink, yeah.
Because evil Doink, in my opinion, is best Doink.
Matt Bourne, evil Doink.
Oh, using those shenanigans for evil are perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. So I absolutely love that, but I understand why everyone thought it was a terrible finish. Mr. Perfect versus Lex Luger was
a narcissist versus the perfect one.
He just looks cold where he's there flexing in front of all the mirrors because it's outdoors, it's daylight, and he just looks cold there. It doesn't even look like he's ready to go. But then, of course, the only time Undertaker doesn't get a pin during his infamous streak against your friend, Giant Gonzalez, the man.
Gonzalez Gigante.
Yes. What do you think of the chloroform finish?
At least it was something. I mean, considering the rest of the match, it was the best part. And it wasn't good, but it was still the best part of the match because that match was a big heaper. For me, it's an interesting little story. I think out of that match, the good thing was you got a little bit of a Mania moment because I do love the entrance, right? The entrance really made it. And that's what everybody really remembers is coming in with the Vulture. Sure, you got that guy who's kind of nude in the ring with a really hairy groin. But that we'll just sweep that under the old WWE museum rug. Never to be spoken of again.
The what were we thinking moment with John Gonzalez. Yeah, that was there. Oh, and then we had the tag team championship match. I always found that weird as a young fella seeing Hulk Hogan potentially become a tag team champion because he was just straight to the top. I thought him wearing a different belt just was wrong. So I was kind of glad they didn't win it. And he had that stupid black eye.
Yeah, the black eye from the supposed jet ski incident and, all of those shenanigans. Plus, it was just kind of so out of place. It made his appearance earlier in the show made the appearance at the end of the show weirder, right?
Yes.
Like, I feel like they would never do that now. What they would do now is they would give him a different role in some capacity. They'd make him a guest announcer or whatever. Like, hey, remember, here's Hulkster still. And then it would have been so much more impactful if he came out. And if they really the whole problem with it is there was no reason for the match at the end to happen. other than Fuji was like, we are going to have a match now. And Brett was like, yeah, I got sand in my eyes. Don't worry. Just go take all the glory and I'll be forgotten for all time. If they would have had some kind of reason, like if no reason, but that never has stopped the WWE before.
Oh, 100%. We have all seen that. Now, I want everyone in the comments to answer this question. Was WrestleMania 9 that bad? And I'm going to get an official answer from the Madness. One word. Madness.
WrestleMania 9
that bad?
WrestleMania 9 was that bad.
Yes. And I am 100% with you on this one. No swerve, no chair shot to the back. I'm with my tag team partner. WrestleMania 9 sucked. Sucked. Hot ass. That is for sure. A big, massive thumbs down. If I had more hands, I would give it more thumbs down. Don't give this video a thumbs down, though. You give that video a thumbs up and like, share, and subscribe. Everything that is the hot tag. And I tell you what, we won't be coming out at the end and winning the title because we already have the titles.